He finally got one right, and the demand was sky high for us to get Larry Holder back in studio before he cooled off. Well, Saints fans, today is the day you get your wish. He's coming up next on the Black and Gold Today. Welcome to the Black and Gold Today, sponsored by Cadillac of New Orleans. I'm your host who remains on his never-ending quest to find that pixie dust, Jim Derry. As the Saints themselves shift all their attention to their next foe, the Tennessee Titans, the city is still abuzz from Sunday's fun. However, like the boys in black and gold, we must charge forward and put the past in the past. To help do that, I turn to Larry Holder, who has left his schneid far behind.
It's a miracle. Trust me, people were on my case, even though I wasn't on our typical Fox 8 WVUE pregame show where I'm making losing picks not only on this show but live on their airwaves. I got one right, and so now the curse is gone. Unlike the Cubs, that curse is still there.
Oh, you had to throw that in there.
Look, for as much grief as I've gotten, I'm throwing daggers at you, my friend.
I'm gonna make you wear a Mets cap. Let's talk. Let's talk football. What a ridiculous game. I mean, I don't even know what else to say about it. You and Dunk talked about it in your post-game show, and there really aren't. How many words can you come up with for this thing? It's
one of the craziest games I've ever seen. I'm just thankful we weren't at a night game, 10 o'clock, 10:30 p.m. deadline with all this stuff. But it's a game that if the Saints would have lost, boy, they were starting to run. And that thing was in their hands, and if they would not have won, I'm curious to see how they would have been able to bounce back. But to get that win, that's what teams who are starting to get on a roll, those are the type of games those teams win.
You know what's funny is no one said hardly anything about the defense. And if that game goes to a coin toss, whoever gets the ball first scores a touchdown and wins. So the game would have been hanging on a coin toss, in my opinion. If Giants win the toss, they go down, they win 55 to 49, and just it's completely different in this city.
Oh, absolutely. And what if the Saints fumble the punt return and the Giants recover?
Yeah.
Then they kick a field goal and they might win 52-49. But look, like I said, when you're starting to click, and look, as everyone saw in that game, there was no doubt Drew Brees was on fire. He threw one pick, so what? He fell one bad throw. He was on fire. You knew they were going to drive down and score. C.J. Spiller with that last touchdown. And it's just starting you getting that confidence. Even though, look, I think the defense, the score looks brutal. I don't think they played as badly as it seemed. Now, they might have played 28 points bad, maybe 35 points bad. But the offense was rolling, and that's how this team is. You're going to have one day one side of the football is going to have to carry the other because both sides aren't as good to play collectively together every game. But you're seeing improvements all over the field, which is a major plus going in the second half of the season.
I thought somebody was going to start singing Pinball Wizard or something like that.
You never know. They still might be singing it.
What was the team's mood after the game in the locker room? Was it relief or was it, hey, we're pretty dang good?
I think part of it was relief. It depends on what side of the football you talk to.
Yeah.
Offensively, they knew they had everything clicking. Defensively, specifically, I talked with a toothless Kenny Vaccaro, and he's saying, look, some days we've got to bail out the offense. Today, Drew Brees had to throw 7 touchdowns. He had to even laugh at that because they needed the 7th touchdown to tie. And yet, I think collectively, they know they're starting to get on a roll. That whole mantra of, oh, we got a good locker room, we got good players, that didn't sound right losing. They've kept that same mindset, and it sounds like they bought in, and we're starting to see the results right now.
Tennessee comes in Sunday. They fired their coach on Tuesday. Fired coach Ken Wisenhunt. They're bringing in Mike Mularkey, who was recently a coach at Buffalo. Can you talk about what, an interim coach coming in, is it something the Saints need to be aware of? Is it something that could give this team a kickstart that's coming in 3-20 over the last year and a half?
Well, I don't think it's a Dan Campbell type of situation where he comes in and immediately changes the culture. I think they have more problems than they know what to do with. Marcus Mariota, he's probably going to play this week. I know Zach Mettenberger has played in the last 2 weeks, but it sounds like Mariota is going to play. I'm curious to see how they change things up offensively. They're going to have a different mindset than Ken Wisenhunt would have. And so it's probably going to be a bit of a challenge for the Saints to really game plan. They're probably going to see some wrinkles when they're playing Rob Ryan and Dennis Allen playing on defense, see some different wrinkles they haven't seen. So they got to be aware. I just think as long as the offense keeps rolling, even if they score half the amount of points, they should have a good shot at it.
Well, we'll see if they can avoid a letdown, and we'll see if you can avoid a letdown Friday when we come back.
That's the most important point. I need to avoid the letdown. I need to stay strong and not let the public lose any faith in me because it's just about gone already.
Just come back strong. We'll be right back with Wednesday's Extra Point.
What's one of the nicest things that comes with your new Cadillac from Cadillac of New Orleans? 0% interest.
Get 0% interest on all new Cadillacs, now at Cadillac of New Orleans. New owners, new attitude, on Lime Street in Rye in Metairie.
For today's Extra Point, we take a look at what firing a coach does for the team's morale down the stretch of the course. Well, of course, the data's a little skewed is what I mean. Because if the team was really good, they wouldn't be firing their coach, right? The last time it happened was just a few weeks ago as the Dolphins axed Joe Philbin after a 1-3 start and brought in Dan Campbell. He promptly won 2 in a row before losing to New England last week. Well, last year, the Raiders fired now Saints assistant Dennis Allen and brought in Tony Sparano, who lost 6 consecutive games before finishing 3-3. In 2013, Wade Phillips went 0-3 after Gary Kubiak's 2-11 start in Houston, and in 2011, 3 teams fired their coaches midseason: Jacksonville, Miami, and Kansas City, and they went a combined very respectable 6-5 the rest of the way. Well, how will Mike Mularkey do on Sunday in the Superdome? We shall find out very soon. That's it for today. Join me tomorrow from the Saints facility on Airline Drive, and we'll see you then.